Then we adjourn. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Second that motion, I accept.
Yeah. Please. Is there any reason any of us need to recuse ourselves from any business tonight? Hearing none, we will move on to of the June board meeting. I make a motion.
Second that motion. Yeah.
Motion made and seconded to approve June minutes. All in favor? Opposed? So carried. We're doing something, we're changing up the way the meeting is run, starting with tonight's meeting. Instead of just having public comments at the meeting, end of the meeting, we're going to do 2 public comments. And the first one comes up right now. So if anybody out there has anything they would like to comment on, please stand up, state your name. And speak your piece. If there are no public comments, then what? Yes.
I understand that this is a compromise for us to close to up, but what's the point of having it in the beginning when we don't know what you're going to discuss or what you're going to vote on? The point is to do it after you bring up a major event and we can comment on that.
That's why we're doing 2 of them.
But having it in the beginning,
You might have heard something on the street that you wanted to comment about. Who knows? Yeah.
more in the bar.
No, I'm not. We don't need to explain. What?
I was just gonna say, if you have questions about anything that's on the agenda when posted, maybe if you want to ask them, then we can help address them better when we give reports. That might be a thing to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the whole point of this is we want to hear your comments before we vote on anything. Because we don't get to discuss this with you, however y'all do that over the month-long process from the days before. To hear what the public comment is on it. Is this a good idea? The public at large like it? What's your thoughts on it? And then you comment.
Michael, I can hear you. So doing 2 public comments.
But not rule us, so heard.
For the next comment period. If we just go on with the meeting.
You go through things now from this point on. We don't know any of your ideas, reasons or voting on something. It seems makes no sense. Does anybody agree with me on that?
Excuse me. One of the things that they found differently to help you address this is now you know if there's going to be a resolution at any time. So you know if they're going to vote on. So if there's something that's going to be an action taken on, it's submitted on the agenda and it's being posted in advance. All of you know what they're going to vote on. So that you're not in a situation where you don't know what they're going to vote on. And that gives you a chance that you can see a report or something and comment now before they may act on it. And so it's gonna correct me if I'm wrong. The only thing to be voted on tonight is the resolution being brought forth by Jim Miller. But the goal is so that you can see on the agenda what's going on, what's going to actually be moved down. To the extent that there's something that isn't going to be voted on this month, it's going to reflect that. That will give you the chance to hear stuff on it. You can comment before it's going to be moved on. You can comment at the end. I think that's what Jim is trying to give you all an opportunity to know exactly what's going to happen in the meeting, what's voted on now, and we can chance to talk about it at the end. On new things that may be coming up for vote.
So anything major, we're gonna hear before the vote is done and have a discussion before you vote. Is that what
Yes.
you call it?
Yes,
So that,
Because handing us that, saying they're just doing a resolution, it telling us everybody's thoughts, ideas, what they think. We have no idea.
well, I guess the question is, this gives you an opportunity, if you see a resolution coming out before you're completing, you disagree with it, this is your chance before they even get to it.
Yeah, but
Like
that,
your thoughts.
that doesn't open it for discussion, where you might have a good point and change your mind. They're up there to represent us. That just wipes us right out. Because maybe there's something that they're voting for a reason it doesn't say. We don't have that thought to address that. And I think that's part of our problems with it's divide here is people don't hear what's going on ahead of time at all. Why that's missing, I have no idea. If you're gonna do that, I prefer to see a townwide email from each one of you telling you how you think you're gonna vote that day. Or your reasons for backing this. Gives us something to think about.
Quite honestly, I'd like to have workshop meetings that prior to the actual town board meeting. That way, it would be a workshop on what's coming up at the town board, so that you could hear what we're thinking ahead of the meeting. That to me seems like a good way to be transparent with everyone. I don't know how my colleagues, because it's a meeting, of course, not a meeting. And Zoom allows you comment public, at least understand where, and we're leaning the way we're leaning. Whether, you know. into- So,
And I think that was very unfair. I mean, if you had discussed it a month before and then brought that up the next month, I know you have to do that anyway, but that's not how it was presented. If you give us that month where we can discuss it beforehand and give you our points of view and find out what all of you feel. Because quite honestly, I don't have time to sit in front of a computer and look at these emails and go back and forth. Get this stuff. I don't have time for these meetings. I really don't. And that doesn't mean I don't want to be involved. I do. So if I can come to a meeting and find out what's going on, that's gonna happen at the next meeting, I think it gives us all a chance.
One of the reasons we had to vote on that proposition because it had a time frame and we couldn't wait for the next month.
The 14,000, but you have to wait for it, because they're having done this resolution, and then
No.
But-
But that's, we had to, sometimes the time. Here. Discuss things at our business meeting right now.
yeah, I really think that you need to put on that.
More from people. Your to
You ever look into the information that was done in the original comp plan with all of the drawings and things, have you gone back in those and found out, have you talked to the people who were at those meetings in the center of town when the county, the state came and talked to us? I mean, have you talked to anyone that was actually there? Because that was a major thing too.
Yeah, we reviewed that, we can actually confirm with 5,000 on it.
Or wasn't there?
Bert wasn't even supervisor.
We had our own thing on the thing. But they're not the same size.
With that said, I'd like to say one more thing for this comment. No, they don't have to speak to it. All right, so notice the past several months, there's been a big deal with the town meeting minutes. It's become an issue for some reason. Probably spent a lot of taxpayer money on lawyers over there. know how much that will do. Uh, and it- and my treatment. $15,000 when we know everybody not, we're gonna be. We do everything. They have minutes, they have, when they don't include in that, which you're supposed to represent us. I should have privy to that, this public should. If I'm correct, Mr. Attorney. The man told me yes. We've had enough of this, Lauren, and seeing what's going on. So there's 3 years now. We've come to no solutions on any of that. Nothing. So I don't know who chairs it, who's in charge of it, how I get in touch with them. And when I get them, everybody gets shared to the public. What's going on with it? Sometimes it's electronic, paper, to show the decisions were. No, she's something, and that's what I just think. 30 minutes. Really good.
Not that good.
Pretty good, and I can tell you that. Yeah, you know, whatever we need to show me, you know, this, just when the board actually. Be, the justifiable spend that much money when you got kids here, summertime could use that food, whatever. The food pantry, and put the EM down here for kids. We like to see our taxpayer dollars go where they're used. Roads, that more, we'd love to see some road money. Kids, food, things that we see, we use every month, especially the roads. You know, so if we pay these tax dollars, that's mainly what you get, is our roads. So anyway, I just want to hear from you how we get those, who contact and turn their polls into. And if we don't have them, then I don't see any reason why it was done.
You have to see the town clerk. Anyone else?
Jim, we spent, you're talking about $14,000 out here on the lake, for the lake. Has anybody ever addressed the bridge down there? That's going to collapse because that's absolutely no good. Glenda's not here no more, Glenda Gator. She took pictures, she went down there. They addressed this a few years ago, and somebody contacted the state and the county. Yeah, nobody wants to be involved with that bridge down there. That bridge is no good. My father said it was put in 1948, and the only thing that's been touched on is been painted over and over again. That's it. So I don't know what it was,
All I can do is bring it up to the county or the state,
Right,
and it's already been brought up to the county and the state.
right.
Neither one of them wants to claim they own it.
This out here will be the same thing, 14,000. Is that going to be the same situation?
I don't know.
Spending that money on,
I
then
don't
they're
know.
going to say the same thing about that. I'm just asking. There's no right or wrong answer, I don't think, but.
We have to wait till the study is done. I can't answer that. Any other comment?
Yeah.
We're not wanting to comment at the beginning of the board meeting.
I mean, so my point is,
Mary,
And a representative of the county. Out there. And that's all. Burden. You all think some taking money away from you, a lot of money, and it's not the town. Our town taxes are. Oh. You know, I don't know, Jim, what happened at the last board of supervisors meeting?
I missed that meeting, but they've already hired on for this year, so nobody can hire anybody. And they're just starting budget talks now and it's not looking good for next year.
Thank you. That would be great too, is when you go to those, the board of supervisors meetings, if you could give us a little report on that too, because we have no idea what's
Okay.
going on there. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Well, when she says it's true that both of our taxes are county and state, it ultimately starts in anchoring their assessments. So it's say that the county and the state is responsible, it's the assessments and anchoring that begin the process. So let's not get carried away with that, but with the 14,000, I was just asked to do, and I think that's great, but it's kind of like closing the barn door after the horse has gotten there, because you've already decided on an engineer, you hired this engineer. And I don't think all the information has been gotten. And Jim, of anyone, you would know that you can't do anything without the state and county agreement. Has there been any encouragement by them that if we spend this $14,000, they would even consider doing something in that intersection? Did they say that when you met them?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
Was there any encouragement? What, we're spending $14,000 on an engineer, okay? Did they say, well, you know, if you go ahead with this study, that we will be able to cooperate with you and do something? Or did they say, no, we can't do anything, that we're not doing anything? They don't have the money, we're not gonna be
They
involved.
did say, in order to do anything, you have to have this study, that study, but they won't do anything unless we have this data collected, so that's what the study is. And the state and the
Down for us right there.
for the state and the county to move ahead and do anything. They said first we had to do traffic study, we had to do all these different things. That's what this is about. Also, if they come up and we agree on a solution to the problem, we can then go and try to get grant money to do whatever it is we decide. And there may be no solutions, there may be some. We'll have to figure that out when they come back, but nobody will do anything unless we have the study first. And that's true of a lot of things. You have to have water study.
But is it up to us to do a traffic study? How is that possible? The county and the state road. And that'll be available.
It's not, and they won't do it. They said there's a 5-year backup.
What they said they had plans to do anything in Anchorage for 5 years. They couldn't do it.
Right.
They just said they don't have the ability for the next 5 years. So this is, you just want to work faster, that's all. And I'm just saying that's what it
It
was.
wasn't only, it wasn't. It said they, in order to pipeline for any kind of funding, it's going to be a 5-year wait.
Yes, it- Right. Stuff to-
We stuff. Only right, right. And
But not done. The county and hires to move ahead. So has there been any them agreeing to this? If you said about and they
would be willing to work with us. This is what they work.
so
That
that is like
Well, listen, we can talk about it all night. It's not gonna change anything. We voted last month to spend the $14,000. I know there's people about it. We did it
Yeah. Well,
and we have to wait and find out what it is. State. County, that's the process. Have to, can't. So we can talk to it till midnight if you want to. It's not gonna change anything. Sorry.
sorry.
there are people that are being very negatively impacted by that intersection.
No.
Yeah.
About the traffic, the nightmare.
Would you like me to answer that? I talked about T-boned someone coming down the hill last week because they pulled out in front of me because they didn't know what to do. luckily I was going slow enough that I could stop.
That was once in how many years?
I get it frequently. My daughter has almost been T-boned at least 5 to 6 times.
I have had notices there. I hear from people all the time. And in fact, that was one of the platforms that I ran on when I ran for board member. Because so many people brought that to my attention. That was important to them.
My point is that there are things that Ingram as a town can do to improve education without waiting with the county state to do that. There are things that can be done by us on private property without waiting 5 years for the county and the state to do nothing. We can change their way, which is already discussed, and we can do that and take that curve out of there. So those so we can do without involving them. Why using that $14,000 to do that? Because sleep, nothing's going.
So I'm a little bit more.
How many years? President of the Board of Supervisors as our town supervisor. And do you?
Yes, ma'am.
I just had a question, when we're voting on the minutes, were they days that did not vote for the minutes?
Heard it. Staying.
Can we have a reason why, or that's, we don't?
I'm happy to tell you why.
Okay, okay. I'm not,
Go ahead, Amy.
I'm happy to tell you why. Felt and Monica knows my opinion because I sent her.
I need to. Negatives, voted no's, because we seem to have an issue with the minutes for months now. Brought up, how they
I want
go,
to know why I
it's
said
ridiculous, it's ridiculous.
Would you like? Because I found that the minutes were too selective.
Yeah.
Bring
out and I'm pointing. Twice I have asked that my minutes not be gone into and made edits. I don't even know what you changed.
I said you were track change.
Yeah, but you can't physically go into my minutes and make changes to them. If you feel that the one way or another that there needs to be a correction done, that's not, say, a spelling error or a punctuation or a run-on sentence, or I had naming. Through a meeting we for years. Feels only and one not saying perfect. Oh, is perfect. But it's like after March on hog life. Can't keep up. I'm trying this as I don't have an opinion in it. I'm gonna go one way or another. It's very hard to all at each other. I'm gonna be visioned on this, doing these minutes to get it for the history of the town. And I'm sorry if I'm gonna not stand back and let the minutes become a he said, she said. They're on sale.
Why are we?
Can't read that.
Oh,
To read.
There any our first minute by rule,
They don't, I looked, motion and resolution are the only thing that has to be in the minute. Anything else can or cannot be in the minute if you want them to, but they don't have to be in the minute. That's the way it can be. They don't have to put that stuff in there.
And it's still on track. And on the town clerk, besides the president of the Columbia Residents Association, if it is according to New York State law. The clerk's minutes are the last word of the. Apple, most of it. Change.
And then part of the problem change the in the when you would send the minutes and say, are there any corrections or whatever, and we would make suggestions, or maybe he did it, and they would be done, and then there were no resolutions, we didn't change anything.
It wasn't resolutions, and you will note. Like. What made, were changes made, a lot of time was around Tony, you, Jekyll. I would ask for changes to be made, I would sit around to. Well, our, hey, these are the meeting. And I would just make sure we were at A and C. We're asking for point A. And then you. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah.
It's not easy. Way for 20.
When I went to, it was simpler, we didn't go through all this. resolution.
Well, I don't know why
Fine. It's fine,
these meetings aren't simple anymore.
it's fine, no, if this is the way we want to do it, it's fine. It's fine.
Anyone else?
Totally respect it, your minute, you got to say whatever you want.
So far. What, hearings are going very well. Thank you. Pleasures report. Very quickly. So, in a relatively quiet. Public defender, the DA in 11 Warren Street. I think the study and everything is all over with. I think now they're just ready to start working inside the building and getting it set up for those departments. The pavilion project at Bloss Field is ongoing. It says here, I have no new information, but Steve came in, he handed us this. So we have actually some new information from a company named Edward. That works bills with building. That's where we are in the pavilion. That's my report. Are there any questions?
What are they planning to fill in that 401 State Street in the offices? Or is that?
Well, there's only one leaving, that's. So, different building.
Oh.
I don't know what they have planned.
What did you say? This one.
Finally asked what they were gonna do with the offices. There's only the board of elections that's moving out of 401 State Street. And they haven't even talked about it. That's a committee that,
Okay. Jim. Probation and public defenders at, State Street, up the street, live at 610 And then, the district attorney's office is presently at 325 Columbia Street. This-
financial report, do all have a copy of the financial report? Update on our T-bill. Excuse me. As of July 2024, we have a total maturity of T-bills of $1.8 million. And year to date, we have approved $52,548 in interest. Their T-bill update.
I noticed one of the item lines. There's he hasn't fixed, okay, so one of the vouchers. Didn't put. Instead of it going through 128, it went through as 12,000. But I caught it. Hasn't fixed it on the financial. That's what I remembered it last time. Yeah, that's.
Town highway.
Filing paperwork for state chips funding. Doing as soon as I get the cancel check back, what we're gonna take tonight. About 233,000 state aid, which we should get in September. And so that's some work to do. You know, the road, one more paving project, and we're gonna do some chip seal. We received one bid from Montage Enterprises in Jersey, supplied $5,000.08. Then a renter tractor mower for the month of August, and hope to arrange for them to take our tractor, install the mower when the rental's delivered. But it will be.
How quick do you think it's gonna be delivered?
They said 4 to 8 weeks.
That's a way better time frame than they were originally giving you, isn't it?
Well, not this month.
Yeah, they're coming, yeah.
We completed 2 paving jobs on Rose Lane and Rose Drive. Rose Drive just today. As I mentioned, we still have the chip sealing and another paving job to do. Our one truck, number 39, returned from Slacks yesterday. Body pack, and the other one will walk next week. Good. The new truck chassis is still scheduled to be built in 9/12, hopefully. And I would like permission to attend the state highway superintendent's conference. That's all I have.
One question though, on the bid, it says. Delivery time 4 to 8 weeks. From when the tractor is received.
Yes. That's how long it will take them to install the mower.
Where would that go? Where are they?
Where? New Jersey, Blairstown, New Jersey.
We gotta take the tractor down there.
Well, I'm hoping to arrange, I've never been on to our internal mowing. And I hope when they bring that, they can take our. They're ready to install. Hopefully when the round period is up, they'll have ours done and they just stop back.
So it says here the book expired at 7/31. the quote expired.
That's a quote they gave me back in, they actually, I don't know. That's. That was a quote like that.
The other, I noticed it says that their warranty for 1 year after the purchase, do you know, like, the extent of the warranty for that year? Is it full?
I think so.
Oh,
This is the company I bought, and my parts from for years.
oh, good. So at least you have some sort of relationship that's out there.
Very good. I called.
Oh, that's good.
This is just an up down arm, it's not a reach out arm. Yep.
I ended up getting the mold done in the new.
Yeah. I had the overlay rail board on, to the very edge of the road, where I can, reach out and it's all blown out. We can have it on some old bushes here. That doesn't work very good with mold grant.
You done?
Yep, that's all I have.
Okay, up next then is resolution number 22. 2024.
Make a motion.
Motion made and seconded to pass the resolution to purchase a new mower. All in favor? Opposed? So carried.
We'll make some all along.
Do you want to do something about, the superintendent's?
Oh.
I'll make a motion with the superintendent's. Good too.
Motion made, seconded to approve the superintendent attending the highway superintendent's conference in September. All in favor? Oh, so carried.
I'll put it about that. They talk about, using new battery powered equipment.
It's still in its infancy as far as,
That's the big trucks. Small.
there's not a lot of it out there yet, other than the lawnmower. And so I have years. As far as, it's not something you go out and do a lot of tree work with every day. Have the power. The longevity. Do a lot of tree work.
But Jim, they have a question. And I've been to these. They do have vendors there that try and
I would think so.
sell that stuff. And get used it, yes, there are vendors there. Yes,
Too, and I'll talk about it a little.
town clerk, tax collector.
So for the month of June, I collected $291 in fees. We continue to work on the records management cleanup, the back vaults. We have shredded approximately 117 bags as of this time, which included this month an entire box of duplicate draft budgets, a box of tax bills from the 1980s, a box of miscellaneous correspondence in the 90s and the early 2000s. Just so that, we're talking about intersections. We're going to be having a very large event, my son's Court of Honor, at our church on Sunday at 2. There's going to be a lot of cars and traffic, so I just ask if you're coming through Anchordale, slow down, because there's 2 bad curves there, and I don't need you in my living room. And I should probably address the fact that I have some of my friends here today. I have some town clerks that we want here today. Thank you.
Okay. Report of committee. Affordable housing.
Okay. So we've been very busy, have had multiple meetings this month. On June 27th, Will, Dave and I couldn't attend the, meeting with Hope and Hillston. Represented us, and we filed a report. What happened there, and it was sort of a very packed agenda. Basically, we talked about the total housing designation that we achieved. Angren, Colpick, and Hillsdale all have that. And for future funding, we're also built into the greater capital, not the Hudson Valley. And 6 of the 9 towns who have achieved that designation are all in the town. Kind of be competing against each other. Of monies. They apparently discussed once again the affordable housing possibilities of the former Williams. They took no action on that. They once again talked about the Columbia County was awarded $2 million in state to institute a program called accessory dwelling unit in Foxborough. Means they will designate grants up to 125,000 people to build accessory dwelling units on their property. Preference would be given to homeowners who are themselves struggling. So the details on this program are still being worked out, hoping to take applications later in the summer or the fall. But I think down the road, it can be a great possibility of people who want to add something to their property or a home for their mother or their child, or there's an affordable housing possibility. Habitat gave a report that Philmont House was nearing completion, building in Niagara and Atlanta. Focus is very much on putting 4, 6, or 8 units for contiguous capping. Then Dave and I were able to attend the Columbia County meeting that was held earlier the same day we had our town committee meeting. Chris Brown gave the presentation, and then on the new report project, and I sent that around to the board and a few other people, and it gives an overview. The situation that is only getting worse in Columbia County and beyond. The name of the report is called Out of Reach. So it's about how homes are out of reach for purchase or for rental, and then pretty grim numbers. And I can send that around to anybody who want to read it, but it's pretty amazing. They also discussed the ADD program again. They're still working on let's say how. And we they reported on the Chilean land community land trust, and we are working with them. We wrote a letter of support for grant. But our town committee had a looking at a property on Route 82, working with Hudson River Housing. River Housing is an affordable housing company, at least 30 years, created. And we had quite a meeting with them, came and looked at the site, and they are actually very interested in development. What happens now is you're going ahead, making an offer for the property in order to do some testing. See if it's even feasible. We have, they would probably do a phase 1 environmental study and check out the water situation, which we all know is a deal breaker. And all of that works out. Hopefully, they would be to subdivide the property. And So we move on from there, but right now, really want to try and find out. These little problems. It would be, affordable rentals. And one of the things we found out that, kind of exciting. I think it's a new thing with New York State is that now it is possible to carve out percentage of rental units for emergency response. That's something we really also, we can carve out a number, percentage of units that would be built, emergency response. They would get, I don't know what the numbers would be, depends on how much could be built. That's something new out of the state that they were excited about. That's one of the things we really want to focus on. The fire department is for emergency responder, teachers, and whoever else. We don't really know that, you know, until we get a little further along with this, we won't know what the record will be. It's going to be, we've got a lot longer to go. But they are interested in moving ahead. So maybe something can come to pass in our home.
I have a question. Bonnie, I know you and I had this conversation, posing it to Lena, because maybe she knows. How do we assure that the affordable housing we plan to build in our community is available?
I'll be very honest with you, I don't know the answer to the top of my head, and I'd have to see who is actually putting forth this affordable housing. Is it a county? Is it through the town? It's kind of unclear as to where the funding would come from, and I'm sure wherever it is going to provide very specific parameters. So I cannot answer that off the cuff, and I don't want to give you a wrong answer. For a fair housing law, they do have to work. So if we have specific zoning put in place, which we're going to work on, trying to then, but this thing about emergency response is changed. Yeah, otherwise, it would be up to Red River Housing to figure all that out. It wouldn't be up to the town. So they would have to, and they just can't. It's different. Yeah.
Bonnie, can I just ask you a question?
I think we have to wait.
Have they discussed putting like apartments of businesses and things in your building projects? I mean, of course,
No, you're not that far.
I mean, I could think that would be something to bring up again. Think that those are available.
Yes, Colleen.
After reading the report from Pattern Progress, is this something that maybe you might share that on our email list? If there's a way, or even just post on the website, because it really was helpful to me at least to get some numbers and an understanding of, okay, 30% of average, the median income, and it's very nebulous, but this at least attempts to try to bring it into something that you can understand and kind of break down. So maybe we should, what do you think? Would that be okay? Do you think?
Absolutely.
That would be good.
People would read it.
Yeah. Okay. I think we should. Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Had they come to some determination of what the income level that we use for the affordable housing? The reason why I ask is I recently saw a study that came out that ranked all the 50 states in the United States on how much income a family had to make to live comfortably. And New York State was like number 3 from the top. And it was over $200,000 that you had to make as a family to live comfortably. So I'm just,
It's all in the study.
because I know people have to,
It's all in.
somebody working at a paper mill, or Harrington's, or, they're not making no $200,000.
So I think that the study said average worker was making $13 an hour.
Yeah, so I mean, it kind of, by county, So, I mean, our numbers are not comparable to say the Duchess or whatever, but it kind of breaks down. If you're an hourly worker, this is like your wage rate, and this is what you would need to make to be able to afford a 1 bedroom or a 2 bedroom. And the numbers are very good. I mean, it's a real eye opener. So. But I think we should put it on the website and possibly distribute it on the email.
But it's all, it's not, it's not. And so much needs to happen, it takes so long. I mean, there's just no middle housing being no rental. It's, but anything we can do. Drop in the bucket. Yeah, it's all in there.
Grant,
That's all right.
Okay, I'll just kind of go through like an overview of my report. And I'm happy to share it with anyone who wants it. It's out there. I kind of wrote down what we have existing grants that we have received, things that we have submitted, and a couple of opportunities that we could take advantage of. So the first grant we received is for the salt shed, of which the DEC apparently is very backed up because I have not heard anything about contracting. And so we need to get a contract progress for that. We were awarded $153,741 for that. The next one is the EV landscaping and mowing equipment. We were awarded $9,766. But after discussing with Jim via email and he had some hesitations about a couple of the things that were on the actual bid. We've adjusted that so that right now our expenditure would be $5,300 by adding some things in that he could use that were better than say getting like a 0-turn electric. So I actually found out that that would be fine. I just have to amend it in the state's system. The good thing is we don't actually lose the money. So that balance $4,166, we could still use and apply it to another project if we want to. If you want to buy even more of like the smaller hand tools, we can do that too. It did not seem like it was a problem. So
It's listed on here, then.
yeah, so I put just the number there and what we will be buying. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And once we buy them, we just provide the receipts and then they reimburse us for the money that we expect. So, and then the last one that we have approval and funding for is the invasive species education and outreach grant. We're awarded $12,646.23. We have a contract, so now we can move forward and be working with the Columbia Land Conservancy. They'll be doing a lot of the design and stuff like that. We're just kind of overseeing it. So those are done. I just submitted a grant 2 days ago for from the estuary program, and it's to help pay for the open space plan that we approved to do back in, gosh, is it February? So I wrote a grant. We're asking for $12,200 for the estuary program. And they just extended the deadline, but ours was already on time. So hopefully we got extra points for that because we were on time. And hopefully that will help pay for some of those costs. And I had submitted a grant request for the Office of Mark Molinaro to help pay for some of the pavilion expenses. And I requested $80,000. I have not heard anything as of today on that. So I don't know where they're standing at this point, but they did say they wouldn't let us know. We do have a couple of opportunities that we might want to take advantage of. the New York Swims program, is looking to give out money for extra lifeguards for lifeguard training. And, they granted Columbia County $25,000, which the county can actually distribute it to communities as needed. So, I imagine I'll be working quite closely with Dave and Jen to find out what we could ask for if we wanted to get some additional lifeguards, or if we want to do more training, like, well, yeah, depending for next year.
No, I even did, yes.
You finished?
Yeah.
One thing I don't want to do. So,
Bob did.
yeah, because they reached out to us and said, you still want the money? I was like, yeah, we do want the money. Yeah, it's definitely something we want, so. And then there's another, community planning grant, which is through the Hudson Valley Greenway. They will award up to $10,000. And I'm kind of holding that as a backup if the estuary program doesn't fund us for the open space plan. I'm kind of putting this as a backup to be able to apply to if we do not receive funding for that. And then the last one is something new that actually Bonnie and Amy passed along to me, or Amy passed along. And it's called the Safe Streets and Roads for All Grant Program, and it's by the U.S. Department of Transportation. And the grant is actually due, the actual application is due the end of August. And what it could do is help pay or assist in the payment of the intersection study, because they're looking for planning type of projects. So stay tuned. I'm planning on writing the grant for that to see if we can get the intersection study at least partially reimbursed, if not completely reimbursed. So that's where we stand. It's been a busy summer, very busy. So
Pavilion? Building forestry?
Well, sure.
We have.
No, I read the report, so I'll give you just a couple of updates. First time in reporting in the last years, I actually feel like we've made some really terrific progress. We have put the work of the pavilion out to bid to a number of at least 4 or 5 different construction companies. We've posted it in the paper. We've now gotten to the point where we have 2 firm written bids that total about, roughly speaking, about $48,000 for the construction. Just yesterday, based upon a contact that Jim Mack gave me, I also discovered another company, or Jim asked me another company called Enwood, that has got an interesting business model in that we send them the specs of the pavilion we want to build, and they send us back a price. And the way that they work is they build the parts off site, ship it to us, and we put it together here, which is kind of interesting. So I've asked them for a bid on the same standard 30 by 60 foot building, one with a shingle roof, one with actually 2 others with 2 different kinds of metal roofs, which the other 2 bids have both come in. They just do metal roofs, which based upon my research is saying that there's no risk whatsoever using a metal roof versus a shingle roof. So I should get that estimate in tomorrow afternoon, which will give us 3 written bids. The next step would be for us to form a little committee to meet with each one of the 3 builders or suppliers and interview them and talk to them about the specifics of how the pavilion would go up. So that's my report. I'm going to go a little bit off record here and just make a comment on how this process has worked over the course of the last couple of years. Because this has started 3 years ago, and I'm not sure if it was Bonnie or Ruth Van Wagner that originally came up with the idea that then got transferred over to Will Weiss as chairman of the SIC, who somehow manipulated me into chairing this subcommittee. The point I'm making is that this is a great example of people who often disagree on a lot of things can come together and do something really good for the town. Jim Stickle has invested thousands, if not $10,000, tens of thousands of dollars of his company's money and time in putting a new culvert in. I've got hundreds of hours of volunteer time put in by lots of folks from Ruth to the SIC and others. And the point I'm just making is that we want to celebrate the fact that we can really come together in an apolitical way to do something that's good for the town. And I'm very proud of you.
Also, you notice on your way going out, there's a huge box sitting in the hallway. The new flagpole. Flagpole snapped off during one of our windstorms. And I don't know if all of you are aware of it, but Glass Park is named after one of our men was killed in World War II, a young man who didn't get to come back to me. So we're going to be putting the new flagpole up, but it's not going to be able to go into that original base because it was actually, the original one was cemented down inside that base. So we've got to figure out a way to move the flag. But I think the fact that we're moving forward with this pavilion and providing a place for young people on a field for a man that didn't get to come back to me was very fitting.
All right, next on the agenda is fee schedule. And Jay, I'll set it up. Would you like to explain the changes?
So I've gone through with Desperado and we've made some changes on the types of obligations that are on for the planning board, the DDA, and also the reflect the changes that were made to the amendment in this township.
Carol? I know you sent me a couple emails. Do you want to speak on this?
Yes. Let me start off by saying that as it stands, the easiest thing at this point is to approve it. Because there have been changes and they could change. The fact that I think there should be more changes means that we have to look at this again. I wrote you all email last night and just hit the main ones that I concerned about. And I am going to ask you to please separate the people have dogs. It's $6 for a new dog, $16 for non-new dog. Ask people who are growing chickens for eggs and chicks to spend $150. You've got to take that reason. They're pointed out to you some problems and solar farms that requires we have to look into it, which is why I say approve it now and look into the law for cell towers and law on solar. I mean, I don't know. Cell towers, I'm not sure if these fees are for annual fee
is, think about a solar farm. Are you gonna charge the same fee for a solar farm that maybe has 100 panels? You're gonna charge by the panel or the acreage? It's unclear to me when I see the fee on wind turbines. One turbine 750, or is it for then what? Well, I'm not too sure if wind turbines. I know they're accepted more than 2 on farm, but are we talking about residential turbines? You're only allowed 2. Does that mean somebody pays $1,500 for the 2 wind turbines? Is that an annual fee or is it a one-time fee? These are questions that are not clear to me as a resident. I'm Joe Snow. I want to come in and so that's why I say it's okay now because we need something jail. You have to collect fees, and you need to know when fees are. But I think that
So the ones that are on technically up right now, you think we can go ahead?
yes. And I did send to Jim a sample of that, of those that I felt encountered. I think I sent it to you, so should be looked at further.
So we'll be looking at the one here.
That's not part,
Okay.
what do you look at? Yes.
Yeah.
And just,
Good points, Carol. Thank you. Yeah.
Jay, I'll help you here. The one you're requesting to change are on the bottom of the page here, residential accessory uses. So the animals for hobby and home use were reduced to 150. Self-storage pod, placed 120 days or greater, 150. Ground mounted solar, 250. And outdoor wood furnace, 250. There are other, I'm not seeing. Yeah, private animal training area, 250. Yeah. Private barn stable, 250. Private course. Course. Yeah. 250. And renewal of above residential accessory use in 75.
That's not it.
Your proposal. Yeah. Well, hopefully the planning board, the zoning board.
what toppings are they on?
So it will depend on the specific special regulation, if applicable, and it would also depend on whether in the review plan or the invoices period for the special. That's why there's and over public.
We need more information on this before.
It has to be clear.
Maybe know if it's yearly or if it's one time and what goes on. So I don't think we're voting on this right now.
And the renewal of the vote is 75, and the renewal on an annual basis or? Yeah.
Pauline, do you have a way to answer that question?
My concern is, I mean, Carol put it very eloquently in that she is a member of the public, if she doesn't understand the fee structure, then maybe, and we don't understand, completely always understand the fee structure. We may need to revise it so that it's clear for everyone. But, Steve, I was going to ask you, because I know you have reviewed it with your board, and I believe Joe did as well.
Well, it seems to me that this is a perfect opportunity to implement. We talked about half an hour ago, which is workshop. With, why don't we have a workshop with, and open it to the public to participate, but have the board, chairs there and a couple of members of the town board. And let's go through them one by one and check them for, veracity and meaningfulness and see whether or not they, put it to the common sense test. Does it make sense to charge somebody $150 for doing that based upon, this is a generality, based upon the level of work? Because some of the fees seem to me to be a profit center versus covering costs. And I think that's a philosophy that the board needs to make a decision about whether are fees there to cover costs or are they there to be the profits. Two very, very different approaches to fees.
I would be happy to do a workshop. I think it's a good idea. Jail.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to exclude jails in part of the process.
Yeah, would you want to?
Can I also ask that it's for the entire fee schedule and not just the CEO planning and zoning aspects? So that the town board takes a look at everything.
I think that's reasonable. Very good.
Some of the student fees that the organization.
I don't
Every
think
year.
so. This was last year, I think it's November, so. Yeah, my fees are state mandated.
Now,
All right,
Colleen, and you think it's really important that before that meeting, the philosophy around fees needs to be established by the town board. Why are we charging a fee? Is it to cover costs or estimated costs? Is it to be cover costs and add some profit? But that's a very, very important standard to set to kind of frame how we're going to have the discussion. Otherwise, it's very, very,
Absolutely.
if I'm 50 versus 3, I will why.
would you, suppose if there's any chance of getting this done before the next town board meeting?
There has to be publicized within a certain amount of days. There's gonna be a quorum of board members. So if more.
No, I'm not asking that. I'm asking, can we get it done before?
I have board members has.
Yeah.
So you have to have it, there's a publication time frame of like 2 weeks. So that goes into picking the date.
I think you need planning board chair, ZBA chair,
Yeah, we do.
Ed,
But I think the
one or
workshop,
two of us maybe, it doesn't have to be one.
I think the workshop Colleen's talking about is all, that we can all hear what everybody thinks, rather than the people going, but this is what we want to do. I think we should always rather. It'd be a good
That's
workshop.
what it means.
Right, I think we should, I thought we should have a workshop everywhere. And then we know what everybody's thinking.
So that's,
What it means.
so
Exactly.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's old man.
okay, if you want to do this, then let's make a motion to move to, meeting. Do it every month? Every other month?
Motion, that we do a workshop meeting every.
One second.
Motion made and seconded to shop. Meeting every month or schedule. So
We do.
who's gonna make the decision?
Point of order. Well, if you're gonna do this, which sounds like you're going to make sense, you should ensure you work with the town clerk to schedule the date of the workshop
So that it's a sufficient period of time so that anything that comes out of the workshop, the town clerk then has the ability to add to the agenda for the official meeting if they're gonna take action. You cannot take any official action during the workshop. It's designed for everybody to come here and speak and interact. But you're gonna wanna make sure that there's sufficient time between to give town clerk time to get our agenda together. So 2 weeks is traditionally appropriate. You could do 16 days, it's better, but I will defer to you all of you, but you need to keep that in mind.
I would think if we do the third Thursday of the month, we should try to make the first Thursday of the month.
That's the
Okay.
plan.
Which is the planning board meeting.
Tuesday. What about 2 weeks and the Tuesday, instead of 2 weeks, do it 2 weeks and a Tuesday?
That would be the 30th of July.
Some months that works, some months it doesn't.
No, I know this, I'm asking, I didn't know if we had another meeting.
Now, this is a meeting now, our town board meeting, we don't have to publicize it every month, it's set. With the workshop, we have to, if we don't set it as a set in stone, it's going to be this day, this, let's say first Monday of every month. We would have to advertise it every day.
You would, but you established it on your website that shows that you're gonna start to have a workshop every month. The workshop is, like you said, it's the first Monday, whatever you all determine is appropriate for five of you. You put it on your website and you do it in the report, and everybody in the public will be aware of what you're going to be doing.
Mondays are, Monday, I don't have my calendar in front of me, but Mondays are, CRC, right, Carol?
Yes. That's how they Monday.
First Thursday is, planning board. Every Wednesday is court.
Did you say Wednesday court?
Wednesday court,
It's the first Tuesday.
which would, in August, the first Tuesday would be the 6th. And our town board meeting is the 15th, so it would actually be coming in after 10-day.
Yes,
We all,
We do this. As needed.
that creates a lot of advertisements.
I would,
Well, wait a minute. Before we go. Colleen made a motion, and seconded, and we all voted on it. Didn't?
Yeah, just now I think.
We approved it. But the two.
And the reason I did because you're scheduling, like, we knew it was consistently, and we were scheduling it.
I think the answer is that you're not going to be able to get it done on for next month, so make it a day for everyone.
Well, it might even have to be things that are discussed at the workshop, instead to get into that meeting. Might be working for the next meeting.
can I make a suggestion? We've approved that we want to do a workshop, maybe not set the date tonight, but all go home, look at our calendars. See what day in the month overall works. Get out some dates. And I'll look at the calendar for the building.
You may also want to consider at a board meeting, deciding whether or not next month's agenda is material enough that actually establishing a fixed date without ensuring.
Yes, that's just what you did workshop, town board meeting, but that workshop is going to follow. Then you're only talking about having an hour and a half before the meeting. You have that day set. And then you've got, then lots of time to set up an agenda. Following board meeting, and just time to get that out for people to see.
I mean, that makes sense to me. Yeah.
You should go around. You can think about what you're doing. It's a good idea.
Right, because I mean, we pretty much have that time walked up. Some of due, so we're already here.
It's like, oh, meeting before any.
5 o'clock work.
No. After, that means out here from 9 in the morning.
I was gonna say that a lot of days I work.
Why don't you try it at the 6 o'clock and see if it works? As with everything that's happening right now with school, new, everything. Don't know if it's working. But try it.
5 with me. Everybody else, 5 with me. 6 o'clock workshop on the night of the board meeting.
I think you said you had a good turn.
Okay, so, I guess. Approve the fee schedule tonight.
Real about.
No, I mean, but
Yeah,
we're on the fee schedule. Are we gonna- The email policy.
So as passed by the town board, I prepared an email policy. I incorporate the concerns that were raised. Since it was set forth on the website, there was 2 inquiries made by the same person, raising some good points. I'll just throw them out there for all of you to hear, and then I will, go by the recommendation of the board if it changes, because as we said, this will be voted on until next month anyway, and this is the time to talk about it. One question was, can we change the policy, the proposed policy consideration, to not just include neighbors, helping neighbors, but to include all non-for-profits that provide services to members of the town of Ingram. And then the other question was, can we also use it to notify events as it affects the firehouse? I don't see any objection to it under the law, so it just becomes a question of what all of you folks would like. So those are the questions. And then a more generalized question, like, does that include us from letting somebody know or use the website if we lose a dog or a cat? And I said, no, that's considered education. Keep your eyes open. It's not changing anything. So it's up to you. Tell me how you want to proceed. Obviously, but if you decide you want to broaden it to say any non-for-profit, noticing meetings of non-for-profits or events of non-profit or events of the firehouse in the town of Ingram. That if you want to include that, we can expand on that. That's importantly just.
And I have another question about the insurance. If you have to do it under procedure, upon request an email addresses of the members of the public who subscribe to the town email may be subject to disclosure.
I want everybody to be aware that that is foilable. They need to understand that if you're on the email address, that can be foiled because it's part of the town. So I like people to know that if you're asking, you're using an email, your email could be disclosed and foiled. So maybe you want to use an email that's not super personal, so people can protect themselves accordingly.
Doesn't that go up against data protection?
Well, that's why we tell people that some of the fact it's disclosed, that's why you have to put it in policy. People want to use an email address, private email address, a singular one. You know, the ones where they say, what's your email address? And you go to every store, singular. That's why. If you're concerned about that, we can look at that for rating. I don't have any problem with that. Hold that would be subject. I'm happy to. That's why this is why I'm putting it out right now for all the reasons. So I can verify that, and we'll speak with the association of towns to confirm. No, I think that's a fair statement. I'm more than happy to look into that.
I think under permissible uses, you definitely need to include a nonprofit. I know quite a few times in the past, We've had different emails about stuff that fire companies organizing and operating, and it has really benefited us.
Okay.
And I think it's something we need to do.
So if everybody's
At least-
okay with that, I'll
If everybody's okay with that.
People of church.
The church dinners and different things like that have always been.
As long as the email doesn't say, please donate money, but it's saying that they're having a fundraiser, here's the day, then they can go to the website to see what it is. As long as you're not using your email to fundraise, but to notify people of everything, so you want the local churches, not-for-profits, and anything to do with the firehouse. Firehouse is appropriate, it's covered under the general. So we can't do that.
It would seem to me, this is upsetting, but I think.
You're part of the town, anything that your committee are doing, they would be noticed, just like they could be on, should be, or are on the website, I don't know how maybe it's. So that's not a problem, that's exactly what this is like. The whole purpose of the law is to support the education and notification of the public of what's going on with the respective events. Anything else? And I'll look at the data and get the answer to all my.
The town supervisor, whether designated, are they responsible, then they can know. We have the town, no other town employees permitted to send. We do so by the town. What's going to be the procedure for that?
So I think what it is it's my understanding that previously it was under the town supervisor, this town supervisor is designated one person. It's just that there's one funnel and there's not multiple touching. It's whoever the designee is. If you have information you want, you send it to the designee and then they're the ones putting it to the website. It's just to keep continuity.
So there's issues with the designee. So, I understand everything.
Well, I think when in doubt, at the end of the day, it's gonna fall to the town supervisor and the person who's responsible to ensuring that it's in conformance with policy. Town supervisor doesn't have to designate it, but we try to do it so that the town supervisor feels appropriate, can designate it to a third party.
So that she can't pick and choose what's being said.
As long as it's in compliance with your policy, and I think that's why. See, and I think when in doubt, the designation would reaching out to the town supervisor. I think we're trying to do it in a way that there won't be any confusion. For example, the stat storm, they're going to shut down, or Jim has information immediately that he wants to get out, that there's a problem with the road or flooding, or all the things, and emails really designed to address it. An issue then, you may not look to your, email, or excuse me, you're gonna get on the computer and look at the website, but if it's an email that pops up on your phone. Any other questions? I'll make the revisions and I'll circulate all of them with you, and you can let me know if there's anything else you think I need to make a change on. Thank you.
New business. Resolution 24. 2024. Resolved that the town board of the town of Akron does hereby appoint Susan and Connor O'Sullivan to the Agricultural Advisory Committee as members.
I actually haven't added to the resolution. So I'm not 100% sure that she's actually added all of the members, the people that have actually agreed to be on the committee. So I would like to add the rest of the membership, and I sent that to Monica just so she had the names and everything. So if you want me to read it out loud, right away, okay. It should be resolved that the town board of the town of Akron does hereby appoint Susan Arterian, Sarah Chase, Stuart Barr, Frank Rosano, Julie McKinney, Susan O'Sullivan, Connor O'Sullivan, and James Tufunkin to the Agricultural Advisory Committee as members. That's not a change, just adding everyone, because I realized that I didn't think that the whole list of everyone had been. So now merge. I'll recommend.
Motion made, seconded, all in favor? Opposed, so carried. Now, we are at second public comment period. I don't know what it is. What it is, they've been there. Okay, report from neighbors helping neighbors. Anchordale neighbors used the van to conduct 15 round trips to the regional food bank in Latham over the second quarter of 2024. Jose served as the driver for each of these trips. You know, that name, but I can't pronounce it. Paid the contract, $250 from the 24 town support grant per round trip. We brought back an average of 2,358 pounds of food each week, was distributed to the local Anchor Township individuals and families, or shared with the Pine Plains or Hillsdale Food Pantry. On average, during this period, we had 18 families come to the pantry each Monday. We also used the van for 3 additional trips during this quarter to pick up donated household goods, donated fresh produce, and durable donated packaged foods. 2 trips locally in the county, and the 3rd trip to Brooklyn Food Distributor to pick up 6,500 pounds of durable and canned and dry goods donated us from a local Pine Plains company. What donated household goods we cannot place with local families we need, we pass on to Columbia County Habitat for Humanity. In closing, we are again financing the lunch and snack program from summer camp. Have given an initial grant of $3,000 to the director for use weekly in purchasing the needed foods. We'll report back to you at the end of the camp. Funding grant. If you have any questions, please contact me, which I assume is Jack, 518-329-7306, or by email. Jack Lindsay at carpenter.net. That's made himself a name. Now we'll go back to the public comment. Oh, I know.
I thought we could suggest that we add, committee that each of them. Have you thought about any junior members go to the schools and having, because that's what you're trying to promote, is young farmers. Why not ask them to participate in these committees? You have a better idea of what they're facing coming into this one.
I think that's an excellent idea. In fact, reaching out to the FFA program and kind of about taxes.
So we're just thinking of going back and looking at, as the affordable housing be taken into account. Yeah. The zoning and the building department and the tax.
I'll get done, there's something in the bill, that we are not even at that point yet. Company that we're working with. It's very valuable experience. We'll have more.
I mean, there's just not much going back or it's online, looking at, you're just getting the properties, looking good. So you were going with this and how it's, just things to be brought. That's funny about how it's not going. So, and then the other thing was looking online, 2 things. Well, you're supposed to be certified. One person here is not certified.
Right.
To have your certs done. Be up here.
I mean, certified to do what?
And you know, it's supposed to be like a certification.
I think it means training.
Train, yeah.
Or what?
In general, like, board, your training to be done up here. You know, be able to go through all of this.
You go to Albany.
This year, and we went to a class.
Oh.
The new.
I did too.
Yeah.
Let's just say I would have been a nice.
January. So,
I have 60 hours worth of training just to get my registered municipal clerks.
so, I put in one, that, you know, when you look it up, it shows what more you have. For training. So that,
Yeah, it's in charges.
Because, no, the town board doesn't have a regulation or. Not.
Elena, if I answer the question, please.
All employees of the town are required to be trained on preventive harassment in the workplace. There is also a mandate for training on workplace violence. I know all of Jim's employees have just recently had workplace violence training. The town spoke with Jim actually last week, this week, excuse me, about working with the county to come and do workplace violence. Those are required. Jim's guys have additional training because of the work they do under OSHA, but he gets that taken care of through his work group that you have. Does that answer your question? Sir?
And employees of the town include volunteers as well.
That's correct.
For the work. Sexual harassment training. So if you volunteer for the town, you're supposed to take that as well.
And the town now avails using the county through what's called an intermunicipal agreement, which is more cost beneficial. Yeah. County has, she goes to the county and drinks in there.
Who was JL, did you have?
Yeah. Email policy, if, not, I'll get the agenda for to the supervisor for this. And it takes a day or two to go out. How would the board be? Time period that it. All within that maybe. The town has been have.
So I send it to Ann and she sends it out that same day. And the way that we're working out, is trying to get it to her Monday prior to the town board meeting, so that it gets up on our website by like Tuesday or so, out to the email list with the link no later than Wednesday. That gives 24 hours or more for residents to be able to look at the agenda.
And if Ann weren't available that within that time, because there's an accident or we don't know, how would we?
I don't
Do I look for?
I would think, that our tech committee does have access to the email list. They are, there's a few of them on there that have assisted in training her. Learning how to use constant contact took a very long time. It's very cumbersome. And caught on to it very quickly, very well. I'm sure if there was, gosh forbid, something was to happen to Anne, their Mike or Phil would be able to be abandoned for sure. Do you CC them when you send out the agenda, maybe adding them into the email that you sent to Anne, you know, with the agenda, maybe as a
I've heard.
Okay.
But this policy will change.
you know, I hate to jump up there, you know, then it's.
And I know that, when an email is made. In the region of constant contact, there's a proof that goes out, and gets a copy of it, Phil gets a copy of it, or it goes. So, you know, there's steps.
Donna,
I just want to check you mentioned all kinds of affordable housing, a company that works with, that feels like. You've mentioned a company that you're working with for the, is that a for-profit company or is that the non-for-profit? Non-for-profit. You should look up, I can never.
Steve,
Yeah, just gonna be quiet, issue, my comments earlier about the pavilion project. The edit is, it's not a pavilion project, it's a blast field revitalization project. It's not just a pavilion. And secondly, I mentioned Bonnie and Ruth and Will, and Jim. I neglected to also include, David and Jen Boyce. And then work on the pool, because that's part of that revitalization project. Like those included in the comments, please.
is there anyone else? I would like to entertain a motion. Confused here. To approve the warrant, and pay the bill. Two hundred in that sentence, I couldn't. Motion made second to approve the warrant, and pay the bills. All fair?
No.
No. That's where I got. I'd like to make a motion that we, move to an executive session and discuss the personal matter. No. Personal matter. Personal with an E.
Personnel matter that may include Elena. Subject.
Yeah, all you have to say is you're going to executive session to deal with a personnel matter. Town board will not be able to take any official action.
I'm just doing what you always.
Okay.
You might wait. Is there anything else on the agenda that we need to stay for?
No.
No, you're not.
Oh.